Okay, that's fine.
Gives you enough time. Yeah, you're around next week-ish, maybe?
I am.
Okay, yeah, we had a few ideas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, one was Long Island.
Oh, Long Island again.
Return
Who's
to
in
Long
Northern? Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
good.
or that one, I know you like that hill. on the
Yeah,
other
no, yeah, love it.
No, hills or headwinds, H-woods.
Well, the one we were going to do was a hill up Slocum.
Yeah.
Or
It's not fun.
the Ruby Creek up to the past the FSR, yeah.
Yeah, that's just punishment going on.
It is.
The first part
Even
is,
going down, it was
yeah,
just bone knuckling.
well, the e-bike is nice to
Show off.
yeah.
All right, we are good to go.
Oh, really? Okay, thank you.
Bet.
Thanks for coming, everybody. It's Wednesday, October the 8th, 2025 at 9 a.m. I want to call the meeting of the Environmental Advisory Committee to order. And item number 2, I just want to acknowledge that we are having this meeting in the traditional territory of the Stahelas. Item number 3, introduction of late items. Just to go around the table, is there anybody who would like to introduce a late item? Anything at all?
Is there any, can we get any information on the Lillooet, the West Lillooet streetscape?
Okay, well, we do have Jason in the house, so maybe we can add that to the list. Can we add that to item F then? Are you able to stay to the end, Jason, with us? Okay, so Amanda, if that's okay with you, item number F. Sorry, I should take a vote. You want to move to?
Yes,
Add in
I'll
the-
move to add in West Lillooet streetscape or whatever you want to
Do
call
we have a
it.
seconder?
Sure, oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Seconded by Johnny. And any comment or discussion about that question? Okay, call the question. All in favor? Thanks. I'm rusty today. Are there any other late items that anybody would like to bring up?
I thought of us a moment touring or going to the water treatment facility, like taking us and kind of going
Sure,
through.
okay.
If we should maybe,
Should we put that as part of our work plan, Amanda, or do you want to?
Sure, I believe our utility supervisor, never wrong,
Yeah.
is always thrilled when anyone would
likes-
like to go on a tour.
yeah,
So, I think have you had a chance to go on?
No,
No, okay, I think we, the committee did at the very beginning,
Yeah,
when
A
they
couple
were
years ago?
first-
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, we can definitely add it as an item for discussion, or if you want, we can just kind of take it offline and schedule it separately. It's, happy to give a tour anytime.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sure, well, let's put it on as an item
Sure,
G so
sure.
that we can schedule it, or at least get it on the docket
get a
Okay.
good understanding of that. Great. Thank you.
Okay, and, sorry, I should probably call the question. Any discussion about adding that as item G?
Sorry, seconder for that.
Oh, second, thank you, Susan. Seconds Johnny's motion to discuss the wastewater treatment plant tour. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Any other late items? Anybody else? Susan, John, anybody else? Maritime, late item? Okay, I'll move on to item number 4, approval of the agenda as amended. Can I have a seconder? So moved, thank you, moved by Paul. Any comments or questions or discussion about the agenda? Okay, all in favor?
Second here,
Oh.
sorry.
Sorry,
Moved
Paul
by
moved.
Paul.
I need a seconder. Thank you, Susan. Seconded by Susan. And discussion? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, approval of the agenda carries. Adoption of the minutes from September the 3rd, 2025. I think we were all present at that meeting. Are there any questions, omissions, concerns, comments about the minutes from last time?
I missed that meeting, so I looked through everything, so it all looks.
Okay. Good. Yeah, maybe we can, some of this will come up, I think, in our discussion about the work plans.
I'll
Okay,
move adoption.
okay, do I have a seconder for the adoption of minutes from last time? Thank you, Johnny. Any discussion? All in favor of adoption of minutes? So moved, so approved, thank you. Okay, item number 6, items for discussion. Item A, corporate officer Amanda, do you want to? Thank you.
Thank you. So on page 5 of your agenda packages, you'll just see there is a copy of the report that went to council at the September 8th regular council meeting. I'm happy to report that both those recommendations were approved by council. So the official community plan, that'll be left with our planning consultant. The second one there, just for the committee's information, there is a several-year-old policy for Adopt a Road, an Adopt a Road program, but I don't know how active it has been. I know it was kind of partially involved Communities in Bloom as well at the time. So that'll be a good starting point, and what we'll probably do is bring it forward to this committee to take a look at. I've also added it as an item for discussion later on in the work plan.
Okay,
On the
good.
very last page of the agenda package, you'll see that. So we'll discuss that a little bit more in depth later, but just wanted to let the committee know that those two motions were approved by council.
Yeah, okay. So just to clarify, so the official community plan, is that what we were discussing last night, or you mean just the OCP in general as it's been adopted in 2022?
Yeah,
Or
so
both?
separate. So the amendments last night, this environmental review of the OCP would be a separate undertaking that probably won't happen until next year. So the amendments last night were more to do with changes in legislation from the province.
Yeah.
And this is more directing staff to kind of do a review of the OCP from an environmental lens.
So you mentioned next year, is that on our work plan, or are we gonna put that on our work plan?
It's staff, it was a direction to staff.
Okay,
So I didn't include it in the work plan, cause just normally the OCP amendments, like that's a staff function to have our planning consultant draft OCP amendments. And then what would happen is potentially council could refer that amendment to the committee when it goes to council.
how does this committee feel about maybe getting more actively involved with the OCP as it stands now and reviewing it yourselves? And if there's anything you want to highlight that concerns you, or maybe things that we could improve on. I appreciate that staff will take it on and under an environmental lens, but I think this committee might like to do the same.
Sure.
And would you guys be okay with that? Can we get copies of the OCP? Of course, they're available.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Anytime if you want a copy of the OCP, definitely available, yeah.
you guys want copies, or I guess we can get digital copies, or do you wish to have?
Online.
It's online,
online.
so can you send a link to this group?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's
You guys,
Yeah,
maybe
no,
some
we-
prefer paper, then you can talk to Amanda privately about that.
Yep.
But we'll send you the link on that. And maybe we'll put that on our work plan for this year, so that kind of quickly, I don't want to wait till next year. If there's anything that concerns us with the OCP, we can start to make some changes. Highlight. Is that okay?
Bring that forward, yeah.
No, I look forward to trying to do that, to look at that,
Yeah, okay.
give some
I just-
input.
Wanted to leave it to staff. And on the second point there, and this was Johnny's idea at the last meeting, that's adopt a trail or shoreline. I think it's a great idea. I think it will engage the community members that might want to be involved. Maybe businesses will take responsibility for a section of shoreline or road or sidewalk. And I think it's a good way to engage the community on environmental and cleanliness matters and
We actually,
bring some pride.
actually have that with the Miami River Stream Keepers.
Yeah.
And we need to maybe use that as an example, is my thought when I looked at this.
Okay, yeah.
And say, here, we're already doing it to show other,
Okay, yeah. You guys are doing along the water course of the river.
right,
Now we need to do it along the water course of the lagoon, maybe,
Yeah.
certain sidewalks.
because we pick up garbage when we do it.
Yeah,
So we,
Yeah.
you know, it's a good example. We've already got it going. So to put it as, okay, we got one,
Mhm.
then we can, you know, that's,
fantastic. Yeah.
We all could help each other, yeah, kind of work together.
So corporate officer Amanda, like, do you need anything from us, or how can we expedite this adopt a trail?
I think the first step is gonna be looking at the existing policy for the Adopt a Road program and looking at how that can be expanded to include trails or the lagoon. And maybe determine exactly, how often the Miami River Stream Keepers do it, what the willingness level of participation is in that, and other groups in the community as well. So I do have it on the 2026 work plan for further discussion, because it'll take some discussion at this table, I think, to make sure that the policy adequately captures what the community is trying to achieve with that particular motion.
Yeah, maybe you can assign this to our community relations liaison, or to Chrissy, perhaps, and just expedite a little bit so that we can, by next spring, we're going on this sort of thing and get a place.
We're organizing like a group of volunteers that we can, as long as we have the equipment or the stuff ready and prepared, and we can kind of,
Okay.
yeah, we can do something like that. If that doesn't work out, or get like an organized volunteer group to do like a cleanup thing, then something we can provide, maybe the village so can provide some of the gear, equipment, or.
Yeah, for sure.
Just a suggestion,
Sure, tell
Mr. Chair. In Yellowknife, after each winter, and this is kind of the same thing, but it's sort of a variation on the theme of public, community cleaning up and stuff, like keeping things looking nice. Every spring, the city would organize and sort of fund, particularly nonprofit groups, to go around, and everyone would get a block, like get a map and say, in this map, your group, the scouts or the guides or whoever, church, whatever it was, clean this all up. The city would provide them a garbage bag, leave it on the side to pick it all up. But and the winters are different here, but everything that was blown around all winter long,
Yeah.
and once the snow melted, you'd go around and you'd have this sort of a 10 days spanning 2 weekends right in the spring after the snow was gone, and clean up everything.
Yeah.
Sort of like a blitz.
Yeah.
The Adopt a Shoreline seems to be more like an ongoing continual
Yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
it's a variation on a theme, and it
Sure.
depends. I guess it depends on, sort of inertia and momentum, if you wanted to blitz and act like the village and clean the whole thing up right in the spring before summer starts, or if it's a spring, fall. Anyway, there's variations on themes. If it's hard to find someone to volunteer to say, I'm going to adopt this area and look after it all year round. Just a different approach to kind of
Yeah, for sure.
Either.
for councils.
Sounds like-
consideration, and staff looks.
I like the blitz idea, and then the ongoing thing of it.
And I don't know if you're aware, but Communities in Bloom did a beach cleanup day involving the school kids.
School,
Yeah.
Great to get the kids involved.
yeah, so it was the same kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
sort of like, if you want community involvement, cleaning up, there's lots of ways to do it, adopt a road, or you can do a 2-week blitz or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Okay, anything else about item A? Thanks, Amanda. I look forward to hearing from staff. Hopefully early in the new year, we can get things going in for the spring. Okay, item B, hazardous waste collection day. Can I
Yeah,
hand that off to you as well?
absolutely. So we confirmed with Product Care Recycling, they are available to set up both Thursday, October 16th from 11 to 7 and Saturday, October 18th from 10 to 2. However, we do need quite a bit of committee involvement on both of those days. So I just want to really make that clear. There's not a lot of staff capacity at this time to basically run the hazardous waste recycling day and have people assist people with dropping off and loading up. So I don't know if maybe for the first time we want to scale it back a little bit to just one day. I'll leave that up to the committee. I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that.
Amanda, could you just review that? So it's Thursday, the 16th,
11 to 7 was the
11 to
times.
7. Hey, wow, okay. That's a long day.
Yeah, and Saturday, October 18th, 10 to 2. And
10 to 2.
yeah, just for a bit of context too, like Chilliwack just had their big one. I actually happened to be driving by at the time. It was pretty busy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but even they only had the one day. And I just think it might be a little bit more manageable for a first time to just do one. Yeah.
Thursday, 11 to 7 sounds like a long day. I'm wondering, like, I want to make sure we capture the weekenders and people who aren't here on the weekends. Or are you going to capture enough on the Saturday? I don't know.
I think the 18th would be better because
Yeah.
you would get all those people that are coming in on the weekends, right? Then
Well, definitely want to do the 18th, but do we add in the Thursday, the 16th?
Could you run the time a little bit later, maybe on a Saturday, tiny bit?
Or you want to go 10 to 4?
And then get rid of the Thursday, is that what you're thinking? Just for now?
What do we think of that?
I
Paul, what do you
know
think?
I won't be available.
I'll be around.
I'll be
Okay.
around, yeah.
I can
Okay.
do on the 18th in the morning. In the afternoon, we have a gala function for the yacht club that's happening that day. Well, no, not really. Anyway, but so I'll be helping sort of set that up in the afternoon.
Are there any cost implications but doing 2 days or 1 day, Amanda, or is the bin staying for those 2 days if we like to do 2 days?
They'll come in between because they don't want to keep things overnight. So my understanding is they bring a bin in the morning, leave it here, and then come back that day and take it back. It's free at that. This is their mandate. This is
Yeah.
kind of what they do.
So-
There's no cost to the village yet.
So setup is, how many people would you think would be required to be there?
I think it should have someone at all times. I don't know that you need more than one person, but it's hard to know what the uptake is going to be because we've never done it.
Yeah.
But if people have to wait a little bit to get some assistance to drop off their hazardous waste when we're literally bringing it to their front door here in Harrison, and instead of having to go to Chilliwack, I think that's okay. It's a free service for them to get rid of some hazardous.
Where's the location of it?
We were gonna do it here,
Yeah,
Here?
so rain or
like in the
shine.
back parking lot or in the grass?
We can do it on the grass, we could do it in the parking lot, might be a little bit better, especially on a Saturday, like on a Thursday, that would be challenging, but on a Saturday, if you wanna do it in the parking lot here, that's no problem. Like in the paved parking.
It's already contamination and
Yeah.
Just more cleanup, eh?
One question,
Yeah.
have you participated in anything like this before, like,
No.
I'm just wondering how that's set up, like they have it, we just direct them and they just have all the proper places, or we have to put it in?
Yeah, when I drove by the Chilliwack one, they had it was like Valley Village where you can only go one way and then
Yeah.
one way out, and it was busy and they had traffic control, that's how busy it was. And I don't anticipate that same level of participation here quite yet, maybe as the process continues.
So if we had it in the back, would they be able to drive in and drive, how would that work?
Yeah, that's true, good point.
Right.
You have to back, it's pretty tight back there, isn't it?
Can be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or here, we could set it up so we could.
And we're more visible here too.
And this is only residents of Harrison?
I think that would be difficult to, we would advertise it in Harrison, but it would be really challenging to prevent people who are, maybe from neighboring communities coming in, which may be why in Chilliwack they open it up so widely.
Yeah.
People,
I don't
because
think
if
so.
you wouldn't really know about it, if you're driving by, likely wouldn't have it just sitting in your car, so.
Yeah.
And there's
Cool to
no
have that.
issue,
Yeah,
if
it's a
other
free
people like,
service.
because it's a free
Totally.
Yeah, it
service.
doesn't cost us
Yeah.
anything, so.
Yeah,
I like the idea of having it on the grass, it's more visible.
You can kind of get it out easier.
Yeah, I think so. Jason, would you be able to set up a tent or a couple tents for us? Or the fire department's tent or?
I can look into that. I don't know. On weekends, we're really short staffed. We only have one person working.
Oh, no, we can set it up, but.
Oh, just
we
have someone
borrow-
provide.
I think we
Yeah,
can set it up.
yeah, we can have some over there.
Okay, and what about signage?
we have the big sandwich boards.
Yes,
We can
you
put
print
those
something
out.
up on the sandwich boards.
you got an electric
The
sign.
EMB too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it works to give that up,
Yeah.
and then just on the corner there, so you can.
That'll be
direct in.
visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
And the paving will be.
hopefully the paving is done.
uh.
It's amazing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean,
People
you're right,
can
it's a
come
good
this
point.
way too, right? It's
We could.
up here and then down.
Yeah, totally correct.
There's options. So just for us, because we'll start pushing this out now that we've narrowed it down to just Saturday, the 18th, we'll start advertising right away. Can I just confirm the time then?
I like the idea of extending it. Can we go 10 to 4?
Mhm.
Is everybody okay with that?
I can-
I'm available most of the day too. I don't really wanna
I can help the
For 6
afternoon
hours.
kind of thing.
Can we do some shifts? Maybe help me for a couple
And we
hours?
can, yeah,
Yeah.
oh, absolutely, and we can maybe talk to some of the Communities in Bloom members, they may want to volunteer as well, right?
Yeah, is there an
Give to them?
Good point. And maybe even is there an educational component that maybe the stream keepers like to be involved in? I don't know, I'm just. Or do we just keep it at hazardous waste, or are there any brochures we can hand out? The dangers of hazardous waste, anything like that? Do we?
I think the value is simply you've got stuff in your garage or in your crawl space that you go, I forgot what this is.
Yeah.
I think it's oil or maybe it's old gas and I don't know how to get rid of it. So this is a great opportunity. I think it's a really good.
And it's flammable, it's hazardous.
You
Fire
don't know
department
what
would
it is.
appreciate it.
It's gonna be taken care of and safe.
And we'll have a list of things, what we take and cannot.
Yes, yeah, there are certain things that can't be accepted, so I'll make sure to get that out.
Okay, go.
I've got my own little box ready to go.
Couch or something.
Biohazards.
Yeah.
The other option too, I mean, I think obviously there's support for having this right away, but if it does feel too rushed, I mean, it might also be an option or maybe a secondary option to combine it with the Earth Day in May event to get a higher turnout. You know, you could have it set up here and then you do like a little walk down to the plaza where the other booths are set up or something like that, to kind of double up on events to get some more turnout, but
Just do it a second time.
exactly, yeah, like
You
this
could.
could almost be like
Yeah,
a trial.
maybe it's a
run.
biannual thing.
You'll know.
Give it a try.
Turn up.
Yeah, yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Okay, so I think it's unanimous. We'll drop the Thursday. Is everybody okay with dropping the Thursday? And October, sorry, the 18th of the Saturday, personally, I'd like to extend it just to give more people an opportunity.
Mhm.
Are we okay with 10 to 2?
I said do 10 to 4.
Oh, is that what I meant? 10 to 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Amanda, you okay with that?
Yeah.
And we
absolutely,
can
no, that's great.
go hard on advertising this.
Yeah, we will get in touch with Kaylee right away and get
Yeah.
this out.
And I'll arrange the tent setups, like we'll come a little early and help set
That's
up.
great.
And then, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll have the tent laid out. or
Jason, I'll come and talk to
we can
you.
Put it in the council chamber, in the council
Yeah.
trailer.
We'll probably have whoever's working that day just come and bring it out and just kind of help.
Sure.
Set it up as well, so.
Do we need a desk? Maybe a couple chairs? Cappuccino machine? Some
A
Italian-
barista.
some Italian pastries?
We collab with Muddy.
I'll do a runner. I'll be a runner back.
Good, I'm excited about this.
Okay, great.
Okay, everybody good with this? Any questions, concerns? Okay. Okay, item C, tree planting project at the McCombs Bridge, which I missed yesterday. I was on a flight. Any,
Looks good.
any discussion, or Jace, do you want to give us an update on how it went?
Yeah.
And maybe Maritel, and you were there too, I think.
I think there's 5 people.
Enthusiastic for people.
There we go.
Committed, getting their hands dirty.
Yeah. Yeah, but Brad said it went really well. Everything was done. He finished off in that day, so sounded like it was all successful, and we're gonna be doing ongoing monitoring of the area now, specifically over the next 5 years, so.
And what was planted?
It's in the minutes.
Yeah, there's
Willows and some kind of.
willow
Alder?
plugs, and there's 2 types of trees.
Type an oak,
Red alder and big leaf maples.
big leaf maple.
Big leaf maples. Some good shade in a few years.
Apparently these willows go 20, 30 feet tall.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Looks like we'll be burning those. in about 10 years.
So does that rehabilitate that whole bridge project now? Is it, from
Yes.
an environmental point of view?
Yeah.
You're satisfied?
Yeah, that was, so our environmental technician that we were working with, Red Cedar Environmental, they came up with a plan that had to be submitted to DFO for rehabilitation, and this was part of the plan to do this amount of planting, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Any other questions or comments about section C, item C? Okay, item D, 2026 work plan and budget. So I want to spend some time on this. Have a free conversation about everything. I want this group and each of the members of this group to feel good about what the next year can potentially bring. I want your input on all this stuff. If, there's no bad ideas, so I want to just, focus on what's on here and add whatever you'd like to add. I want you, at the end, we have one more year as a committee. And then who knows what happens after that. So if you have some pet projects you want to do or some personal things you want to get done, now's the time to put it on the work plan and make sure it gets done. So Amanda, how should we do this? Should we do this one by one or?
Sure,
What do you think?
I'll lend a little bit of my experience
Okay.
to these, to this committee. There's quite a bit of question marks in this work plan, and that's really because I want to make sure that the work plan represents what the committee wants to do. From a staff perspective, we certainly need some feedback and guidance from the committee about the level of, for example, Earth Day in May, how much is anticipated for the budget for that, and exactly what does the committee want to do. So normally what we've kind of done as we were refining, I think we did it with the age-friendly committee as we were refining the work plan, is just kind of go through each one box by box and make sure that the committee has the opportunity to provide some input on what will be in there, and then I'll bring a refined draft to the next meeting based off of the input today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Earth Day in May, do you want to start with that? And I have to go around the table, but, or go around the table in any case. Do you want to start, Susan? Do you have any comments on the work plan or any specific item about the work plan? Any ideas?
With the Earth Day in May, is that what you're?
Yes, or actually anything on here.
So,
Yeah.
no, it looks good. I think that the Earth Day in May, now that we have done the first one, we definitely have to do far more advertising for it to get people out, and we can do it much earlier now because now we know what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't really have much that I can think of to add to it.
Okay. Anybody else about Earth Day in May?
I mean, it depends whether, on the weather, whether we do it inside or outside. And, I was looking at what we did last time with inside, we could do more networking, and that's the biggest thing of
Right.
all the groups that come and participate more, and maybe more, I don't know, people involvement with those groups and giving them a chance to make presentations. I don't know how easy that is to do if we're outside on the plaza as opposed to in the hall. So how do we, add that component to it?
Like you said, it depends on the weather.
Yeah, well, the hall has an outside space, so we can transition in between both if it's nice weather, right? You could still have it at the hall, have outdoor
That,
booths, and then
that would help
workshops
to bring
inside,
people
right?
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have enough of a physical presence outside to draw people in. I agree. I think corporate office, if I remember correctly, maybe Chris C had a list of things that we can do to improve next year and ideas. I think we had a debrief after it.
I think some of the discussion, if I recall correctly, had to do with like having more of like a planned like set of events almost. So like, you have a workshop, like I'm just kind of brainstorming here, but like even if the Miami River Streamkeepers wanted to do like a guided walk at 10, like
Yeah.
10 o'clock is this, 11 to noon, we have face painting or something like to get the kids out.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there was also some discussion about like food, some prizes, you gotta feed the people, but it does bring people out. So, if like we wanna do something with Earthwise, I think Earthwise was there. I think there's some opportunities, and I don't think it's gonna cost a lot, but there should be some budget for some of that additional advertising beyond our regular means of advertising. For example, like a newspaper ad, about $200, depending on the size, $200 to $300. If you wanna, pay for a face painter for an hour or something like that. And yeah, food as well has some cost to it. So I think it really depends on how far the committee wants to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we want to take it all. I like the food idea.
Yeah.
More like understand like an interactive more style. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think having like a presentation thing that's
Okay.
a good idea.
And we'll start earlier this time. I think we didn't
Yeah.
start Earth Day in May until probably late March last year, and we kind of got behind the 8 ball. We're gonna start it in our discussions in January and get more vendors and more ideas going, that sort of thing, make it better, go all the way. But Amanda, have we given you enough detail here for our work plan? Like, do you want us to ask for some money? Or do we do that at the end? Do you just want to keep a rolling tally? Okay, so far, we need $750 for that event.
Yeah, so just kind of off the top of my head, if we put a couple hundred towards advertising, a couple hundred towards food, some vendors, something, if we rent a bouncy castle or something like that, like we have been, people generally when it's a public event and it's a educational thing, we have been very lucky with people wanting to, either provide a discount or provide a service for free or in-kind donations. So I don't anticipate it being a lot of money, but I do think we should probably put at least 1,000 to 1,500 in there just for.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's possible, if the committee's comfortable with that, I'm happy
Yeah.
to put 1,500 in there.
15,000.
I've got that. I've got that on the
Zero,
notes.
zero.
Yeah. We get really close, yeah.
What kind of food can we get? Okay, I'll move on from birthday and make. We'll revisit that after Christmas and get that going. Private tree planting program. Anybody, again, I just want to go around the table, just free conversation here. Any ideas or questions about private tree planting program? For me, if I can just speak for myself, I think it's, if tree planting is about the most important thing we're going to do as a committee, as a society. And what you guys did yesterday on McCombs, it's, in 50 years, they're going to appreciate that. They're going to appreciate that in a couple of years, but, so things that we do now, we may not benefit from, but future generations will. So I know that there are other municipalities in Canada. I always get these emails from Halton Hills. They have this wonderful tree planting program that not only the municipality does, and I grew up near Halton Hills. It's about a half an hour from where I grew up in Ontario. But they also have a way to encourage private landowners to be planting trees. They have a discount with nurseries, and they have a real program, and they've brought their level of forest in Halton Hills from single digits up to 30 or 40% forest cover in the last 10 or 15 years. And I think that's a goal that we could do as well. So I don't know. This is something that I think we should prioritize. If anybody has any comment or ideas around this, that'd be great.
Yeah, my comment is in the last box, staff to continue to look for grant funding. I know from previous projects that I've done years ago, there are places like Canada Trust that would have funds and Van City and all of these that I've tapped into before. So there's got to be some corporate sponsor that would be willing to help Harrison on that.
Even the federal government had they had a billion tree program 5 or 6 years ago. It was a program that Trudeau had. I don't know if any trees have been planted out of those billions of trees, but
The things are, it's like, I think the part is there a way of how we're introducing to the public more? Like, because I find it like I do want to put some trees in my yard, but I don't know what type of tree and what tree should I get. And I think we're making something like integrating this maybe into the Earth Day or some kind of like nursery or someone to come in and have us talk about things like that, because that's a great idea. Sometimes I don't know where to go with what we want to plant and what is a good for your, for your type of needs, and also that,
I agree. The municipality can only do so much.
Question. I think there's a really good opportunity here with this trees on personal property to tie this into fire smarting around your house. So that people, like following up on what Johnny said, what tree should I plant and where? And we don't want people to buy a whole bunch of cedars and then stick them underneath their eaves. Right. So I think there's an opportunity for a couple of birds with one stone, so to speak, to sort of say, yes, we have trees. If you want the free tree, there's a whole variety to choose from. We're going to have our fire smart people come with you, look at your property and give you advice about maybe you should remove this shrub next to that's right beside your building and plant this type of tree so many meters away from it. So you get that, you make like kind of double hit. You get a little bit of fire smarting and you get trees put in that actually, a the right trees in the right place.
Or have general guidelines, like maybe not having having a fire smart person come, but general guidelines, nothing within.
It's a
10
little bit
feet,
subjective, right?
deciduous,
for
yeah.
fire. So like what they did around the building here, it's sort of context specific. There's no one, this is the answer. I think you need to look at the properties, what's already there. And it could be a good thing, sort of getting a double hit to take away trees that are up against buildings and putting in a different tree a little ways further away that is maybe more fire resistant or different kind of thing. So I think with the private tree, I think there's an opportunity either through tying in through Earth Day in May or something to say, we've got some trees, yes, it comes with there's a catch.
Yeah.
There's a string tied to it, so to speak. We'll come in, our fire smart person's gonna help you and give you some advice for your whole property.
Perfect.
I like
That's
two
a
birds with one
suggestion
stone.
to like, trees are great, as long as we don't increase, the fire risk if there's an area.
I like the idea, make it easy so somebody can come in and you can
Yeah.
walk around, assess and have the
And
experience.
just sort of like,
Yeah.
we're here to help.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, we need to somehow make a deal with a private nursery to get the specific trees that we would like, the specific species that we would like on, a variety of them, so that people can plant it themselves and look after it themselves, buy it themselves, encourage a tree planting program, but in a fire smart kind of way.
If I can say something, I was up in Kelowna recently and got a chance to tour and talk with some of the parks people, and they have a tree program up there where they do offer trees at a discounted price to people. So they have, but it's a different situation. Like they have their own greenhouse, they have their own things like that. But so they're not giving the trees away completely free, but they're heavily
Yeah.
discounted. And they have the specific trees that, that would work for planting. So, maybe we can find out more information about that program, that the way they're running it. Maybe it's something that would work
Okay.
here as well. And again, tying in with the Fire Smart and just
Yeah.
having the correct trees available for people and
Okay.
yeah, not necessarily giving them away for free, but unless we can find great grant money for it, then.
Yeah, free, I agree, free is a problem for me, because if it's free, there's no value, they're not gonna look after it. If they paid $50 for this tree, they'll water it, so. And if anybody knows Fire Smart, it's probably Kelowna. Maybe we can research Kelowna, like I don't wanna put too much on staff.
Sure, if I could jump in, I think we have enough time between now and May to ensure that we have somebody representing Fire Smart at the Earth Day in May, and maybe what I would suggest is it's kind of like a sign up for an assessment.
Yeah.
We'll come and check it out, and then you get a discount on a tree. And
Oh,
we'll
that
tell
sounds
you where it should go, based on an assessment at your house. And then you can go, and I believe Minter Gardens has you can go and they have the Fire Smart sticker. I think Canadian Tire was doing that too, if I'm not wrong. But they have basically plants that, I'm a Fire Smart plant. And so I think that would be a good nursery to kind of link up with and just see if there's maybe some way we can subsidize that, so that the village subsidizes the discount. It's hard to know what the uptake is. I mean, maybe for the first time we do, it's 25.
First 25.
Yeah, first 25
Yeah,
people
right
to
on.
sign up for a
Okay.
Fire Smart assessment,
Sure.
get a discounted tree after we've gone and checked it out.
$30 off the tree.
Yeah,
So,
something like that.
Not huge, but not insignificant.
Yeah, but to incentivize, and maybe that's
Yeah.
a good starting point to encourage more private tree plantings
Yeah.
instead of rolling out a large grant funded.
If I can just
Great
say
ideas.
one more thing, though, just generally the best time to plant the trees is after the summer is now.
Yeah,
Right now.
Right, so just because the soil is still warm, you're getting the moisture, you're not gonna have the drought stuff, so keep that in mind when you're planting it in May. Maybe the delivery of the trees is later after, I don't know,
We've missed the boat this fall.
yeah.
Having said that, let's plant some trees.
If you water them up, successfully planted trees in the spring.
Yeah.
It is more.
But it is, and yeah, just if we're trying to be water wise at the same time, right? So,
Yeah,
lots of
right.
consideration. Yeah.
So the main focus is encourage the assessment by having a discount when you participate in it.
So we educate, we encourage tree planting. I like it.
And if we do deliver the trees sort of after the summer, like if they do sign up during May, then we get 2 hits to give out information to people, right? 2 chances. So in the spring and then in the fall, when you're delivering the trees, that's another touch, right, to the public. So
Okay.
something to think about.
Excellent. Miami River Health. Or does any other comments about private tree planting?
But what are we putting for a,
Budget.
yeah.
I think what I'll
Thank you.
do, I think what I'll do is based off of this feedback and the idea of, incentivizing Fire Smart, but then having some sort of subsidy where the village contributes a certain amount for, 25 trees. I have enough information now to contact a couple of nurseries and come up with a budget item for that. So between now and the next meeting, I should have a little bit more information now that I've got that feedback.
Okay. And would it be too much to ask staff, or maybe one of us can do it, to look into the Kelowna program and the Halton Hills program and just see if there's elements of those programs that would fit into Harrison? Would that be you, or do you want us to do that?
I don't know, like, for example, Susan said that Kelowna, like, they have their own greenhouse and stuff like that, so it is a little bit of a different situation. I'm also not very familiar with Halton Hills. I know you brought it up before. I mean, we can certainly look into it. We also want to ensure that we're keeping the work plan realistic for the committee too, and not just staff, but like it can be quite a bit of work to implement these things on all ends. So I think if we get some more details on incentivizing private tree planting, we can go from there, but it doesn't hurt to look at other places and see what they do. Yeah, certainly.
Okay, so do we need a financial amount to this?
For the private tree planting?
Yeah,
I think I'll grab a little bit more contact a couple private nurseries to see if they're interested in something like that and what the pricing would be and
Okay,
come back.
so
I mean, how much is a tree normally? Like it depends on the
$50.
size of the tree, right? So
Yeah.
70, 120.
right. So say the trees are 70,
yeah,
depending on what we want to do or depending on the size. And you're gonna give, 25 at a half off there,
Right.
right there. You could think of that 25 times, what is that, 35? I always say they didn't hire me for my math skills. All about $900
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
So that's not, I don't think that's unrealistic, but it would just be good to make sure that there are some nurseries that are interested in something like that and whether they've done it before and if they have that kind of system already in place. So
tentatively, could we think sort of around the same number, like the Earth Day May, like around 1,000, 1,500 for that? Just
you're a good negotiator, I like it. Sold. Miami River Health. Any comments about Miami River Health?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Two
one,
members, sorry.
there's one issue, and I believe the village is looking in or got a plan where there's bank stabilization just past the bridge, and that's being, we don't know where your village is at on that, but I believe you're taking care of that. I mean, as far as the plantings and things, I think the stream keepers are doing well.
Duplicate what they're doing.
Yeah, and maybe, like I say, I talked about showing that as an example of adopt a stream. The other issue is water quality, and it's beyond the village's boundaries is where I think where the problem is. I'm learning more about this and from my past experience in other fisheries is more into the farmlands and the nitrates and stuff coming off that, which is, I don't know, that's beyond the village's mandate. Where the real problem, I think, is with so I don't know how we encourage things that are intent to happen that need to happen to improve the quality of the
I
water.
recall if you go to Gulf Road, you see what happens to our stream. Upstream, it becomes a ditch. And the deforested ditch for most of its length past Golf Road. You're right, that's where the problem lies. Now, do we as a committee or does the village have any influence on that at all?
I mean, and the other part is people say, oh, it's just a slough. It's there's a lot of life in that slough.
Oh, yeah.
A river is not probably the right name for it, but there is a lot of life in animals and plants, and the stream keepers are looking at trying to keep the invasive species out. There is a lot of life in that. There's beavers, there's, you'll see different birds and everything else. And so it is healthy to a certain extent. Those mats are gonna help take some of the.
It's literally the lifeline of our village. It runs right through it. Now, I'm curious about this. Maybe Mayor Talon, you know more about this. You mentioned the word slough, but my understanding is that historically it was a free running, clear creek or river. And that there is an obstruction at our bridge here on Hot Springs Road that was done 20 years ago that's causing it to have become a slough. Does anybody know anything about that? Like apparently it's raised the level of the river.
Well, I think that's.
It was a weir, I think.
That maybe is part of it, but it was part of when the diking system was changed. So you're right, it was, my understanding is the same that in the 40s, early 50s, I think, some diking changed the Miami River. But like Paul said, it still is, so it's changed from what it was, but it is still very full of life. It's just, it's different. And now that it's been, you're talking like 75 years or whatever that you're,
Right. Yeah.
that it's become a different type of living organism in a sense.
But should it be our mandate as a village to rehabilitate it to what it was? So that's no longer a slough, but rather a free flowing creek. Chase, I asked the question as you're moving out, there's apparently a weir underneath the Hot Springs Bridge, which has raised the level of the water behind it, so that's become effectively a slough. Are you aware of this?
I don't have too much knowledge on that, but I can look into it a little bit.
When I grew up back on Cedar on the river in Membrey.
Not 70 years.
Well, no, but in maybe 45 years ago or 50, but yeah, when the Miami River with the different outflow and dike control system there before, there was a lot of flow through and would like rise quite dramatically in different times. So there is now with that more controlled dike system, I think, that allows it to keep it at a certain level. I'm not an expert at that, but I just noticed that. So I don't know if there was more flow coming in from the lake, more control or more allowing more. So because there was, like I said, more fluctuation in a lot of the river levels, or right behind where I used to live on behind Cedar Street there.
Yeah. Okay.
I know that one time I had a crew and I tried to find the person and people that are on that crew that came in here and did some electric fishing. When they did some dredging and they moved the fish to different parts, but the person that ran that crew for me is no longer alive, so it was.
When was this, Paul?
25 years ago or so.
They dredged
They must have done some cleanup or something of the section, because my crew actually moved fish from one section to another. It involved the Ministry of Environment permit at that time, and I had a crew that knew how to electric fish, and they moved the fish. They stunned them and then moved them, and they did some work in it. Like I say, the person that did that work for me is no longer alive, so I was trying to find
I used
out.
to run a cleaning machine. Their thing would chop up the weeds.
Is that right?
Yeah, every so often.
Well, yeah, they did that milfoil thing and they stopped doing that because it probably spread more.
Worse.
Couple suggestions for the committee to consider. I would suggest inviting the stream keepers to give a presentation on river health to the committee at a future meeting. I think their work has seen, it'd be good for the community to know all the things that the stream keepers are actually doing and who they're involved with the water department and fisheries, because they work closely with them on stuff, but they're releasing fish those maps they put in there are meant to improve water quality, take out something, do something. And I think they probably have a lot of information about what happens upstream in the fields where you have the where the stream turns into managed ditches along fields and stuff like that, and what the rules are for the farms there for their farm practices and how that affects the stream health. And they also do regular sampling of the stream, and so they have data on water quality from a number of years. And I think the stream is either in a healthier situation now than 5 or 10 years ago, and it's improving. So before jumping to fixing problems, I think it'd be really helpful to know what's actually happening today and what the current situation is.
I can answer to that.
You-
Paul and
you-
I are
yeah.
both stream
Yeah,
keepers.
I am too, a little bit in that.
So we definitely have access to that
Yeah.
information, and you're absolutely right. It is
Yeah,
the
this
last samples were
Yeah.
showing a better health of it for sure.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
The questions is when you look at this the bridge over Springs Park there's the drainage pipe and the water coming out there, a bit of the water changing there too. I'm not sure, I don't know I'm not the pro, but is that the water that comes from the drainages from the housing, like through this, along the drainage areas?
The storm sewer.
Storm sewers, thank you, yeah. Does that come out onto, is that drained, that little pipe that's water trickling or coming out of there?
I know that at both bridges there is a pipe,
Yeah.
and I don't know whether that's just local water
Okay,
or, I don't think it's formal storm sewer. I think formal storm sewer goes the other way into the lake.
Maybe Jason, you know? Do you-
I know that, so we're doing the storm sewer master plan right now, and they've been assessing where all the outflow is and kind of direction and flow. So I know that they were asking some questions about some of those pipes within that area and the direction they went, because some of it's not really well recorded. So that is something that's being looked into right now, and we should be getting that report within the next probably month or so.
okay.
So we'll have some more information coming on that.
Yeah, I think we talked about this a couple of years ago, and road runoff and all the oils that come off the road, is that being properly filtered through sand or through grease traps before it goes into the pipes?
Yeah.
Or is that something we need to invest more in?
I mean, the master plan will identify if
It will,
there's any
okay.
problematic areas and full system of our whole system.
Yeah,
Okay.
some people, like when they're using car washing their driveways or washing different things and things are running off, are they using actually like what kind of chemicals they're using
Mhm.
in the lawns, like that too? That would be very important. If people still are spraying different harsher chemicals on there, yeah, where does it go?
Yeah, I like what Mayor Talon said. Maybe Miami River, we don't want to duplicate what you guys are already doing on that committee. Maybe we invite them to join us or rejoin them at one of their meetings, and we learn more about how can we help? Are there any gaps of things that they're doing that are not doing that we could do as a committee or as a village? So you guys are
They're always
okay?
ripping out black.
I think it's a
Yeah, a
good
lot of
idea. There's a lot of connection there.
Yeah, we don't want to overlap. Okay,
So
so,
one of the, sorry, just one of the things when you're talking about the stream keepers, and this is, it has not a lot to do with the environmental advisory committee, but more with the village themselves, like the invasive species workshop that was held at Memorial Hall. The stream keepers had to pay, it was a discounted fee, but we had to pay to use that space for that workshop. So I don't know if there's a way in the future for stream keepers, if they're giving like informational things that are benefiting the village, that even there can be, even if you have to officially, charge, maybe there's an in-kind donation that can go to them to
yeah,
counter that.
I was it, were we talking last night after the meeting? Was it you that mentioned that? To me, I was disappointed to hear that the Miami River Stream Keepers had to pay to do some public education at Memorial Hall. I was surprised to hear
It's
that.
only $50 or something that
Oh,
they had to
okay.
pay. Like
I
it wasn't
thought it was
a huge-
$350. I thought someone, okay.
No, I think normally it's $250 to rent it, but I think they got it, maybe 50, but again, don't quote me, I'm not 100% sure, because I
Can't
didn't,
remember.
Okay, so we'll carry on then, Miami River Health, if there's any other comments, we'll have them engage with us at one of our meetings, or if it's easier for them, we'll go to them.
And if I can just do one more thing,
Sure.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Focusing on the Miami River, but I just want to talk about one more element that maybe I can look back through some of the paperwork. Because before 2020, there was a think tank with the stream keepers, with, I don't know if it was Seabird or Stelis, and a few other partners where they were looking at how to improve the Miami River. And there was talk at that time of perhaps further down the river, I think dredging some of what was there and putting in some gravel bed bottoms to encourage salmon. And so let me look back on that, and I'll maybe bring that up at a different meeting. I'll see what I have.
Yeah.
I just had a question. Where does it eventually end, the Miami River currently? Like, is it flowing typically the outflow of it? Or does it connect like, towards the end up on McPherson? Like, do you know?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know, because it kind of, like you're saying, kind of dries out you further, and even kayaking in the spring, I can only go up so far.
Yeah.
Where it gets.
You're the
just-
crazy person kayaking.
Well, it's not
Does that?
me, lots of people,
Yeah.
lots of people kayak up that.
Good, okay. I'm gonna move on to public area tree planting. A few months ago, a bunch of us walked the area and identified a whole bunch of areas where we could plant trees. I think we came up with about 1,000 different areas. Of course, it's not gonna happen, but
That money, please.
Yes. And it was good fun. And I think we need to, I think we all yearn to get trees planted, and we've got some ideas identified or some areas identified. But how does the committee want to pursue this project, this public area tree planting? Jace, maybe do you have any comment about how we can pursue this? Or if anything came out of our last efforts?
Yeah, I guess really it kind of comes down to what the committee's looking for. Like, is there like quantities, kind of areas, and we can kind of assess with, like, because obviously as new trees get planted, we're kind of working through maintenance right now of trying to find areas that trees can be added to irrigation, and some areas have to be tree bags. So there's always the maintenance aspect of it, but yeah, we're open to ideas. I mean, more trees is always good for everything in the community. So we'd have to assess that with Fire Smart, but yeah, whatever the committee's kind of direction that we want to look, we can look more into.
Is this something you guys want to keep pursuing?
Yeah, well, I definitely would like to see us plant trees and get rid of the cedars that are there near the best stop here
Right.
and plant something.
Good with that.
Yeah.
Is that in the works? Do you know about these cedars?
It's not, I know it's been discussed before, but yeah, that could be something we can look at.
And I again, it's a very visual area, so if we can do some planting there, get rid of those cedars, then we're promoting more Fire Smart, we're getting public awareness about the plantings, like it's a win-win-win doing it right there, right at the bus stop, so.
There's also a couple little parks along on this side of Harrison Hot Springs Road that we identified. And that would be another very visible place, including this one as well.
That's right, and there's one more, just to overlap again with Communities in Bloom. We had a little talk at our last meeting about the possibility of maybe, you know how we have the sign driving into Harrison?
Yeah.
We want to create something when you're exiting, like thank you for visiting, and over on that side, so there might be a really good opportunity there to do something, some plantings as well.
We actually own land there, don't we? Doesn't the village have a
Well, I
little?
think that's what Councillor Jackson said, we have a little bit on the
There's a
side.
tiny little parkette there.
So if we could do something there, it might be an opportunity.
Okay.
So we got all this list of things. Maybe we need to prioritize what's on that list and what's feasible. And
Come up with like a 5-year plan, I mean,
or just something, yeah, or maybe a 5-year, but just
Or
a
just next
few
year.
items,
Yeah.
a few items that we want to see executed. And then-
you talk about in terms of public area tree planting?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So how about we, in the next couple of meetings, we identified 3 or 4 areas that we'd like to put on Jason and say, let's get something planned in the next 12 months. Is that okay? I think we've got the maps still. I know I've got some of them, so we'll get the maps out and identify some areas.
Yeah, and then,
All right.
I guess there has to be a budget item then for the work plan. Yeah.
It will depend on how many
Yeah.
trees. We
Identify.
also have that anniversary tree. too.
That's true, yeah.
We were talking about.
We got that one delivered last week, I think.
Yeah,
So the anniversary tree, and then, yeah, if we just identify locations and number of trees, then I can see how much the cost will be, and then we can put it into ours.
It's the anniversary tree.
it's a hibiscus.
Susan can tell us about
Yeah,
that.
so it's a Communities in Bloom tree that they, to celebrate their 20th anniversary of being here in BC. And so we received a beautiful tree. We've got a little plaque to put on it as well, so we just have to pick where we're gonna
Nice.
put it.
Where are you gonna put it? Oh, you don't know yet?
There was some discussion about putting it at Peace Park, which is one of those parks on this side
Yeah.
of Springs Road, where that little like pergola thing is.
Yeah.
But then we were talking about the thank you sign and see, thanks for coming,
Yeah.
and maybe that might be a good spot for it. So I think the Communities in Bloom committee meets the week after.
The week after.
Yeah, the week after. So there will be some discussion about where to put that. It's just the one tree, but it'd be nice to have some other ones to kind of make it an area, not just
Oh, for sure.
a lone tree.
And do we need, like, Jace, do we have a budget? Does the village have a budget for tree planting or tree maintenance every year?
We have some budget for like, yeah, tree maintenance, like everyone's gonna be hazardous trees that would need to be cut down, so we have a budget through there. And then just each park has budget allocated to it, so if there's new plantings or anything that needs to be done, we kind of take it and work it throughout the budget to see, just depending on that year, what's needed in that park. So if there's any like specific, like project of planting a bunch of trees, we probably want to add a new budget item through the work plan.
Okay, and is it up to this committee to ask council for more budget money directed towards trees if we want to do these specific projects?
Probably how that would work, I assume. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's always budget for general like public works operations and planting, gardening. If there's something above and beyond that, then I think having an idea of how much it's going to cost and a plan of where to put things, that would be good. I know there's lots of areas that have been identified, but perhaps kind of narrowing the scope to something that can be achieved next year. I know there was some discussion about, I think they were like flowering plum or something like that, trees on the way into Agassiz. When you come like from where that teacup is, that teacup area, and then they were alternating colors. It was like purple, white, purple, white, pink or white, yeah. There was some talk about doing that along Hot Springs Road somewhere, so I don't know if that's still something the committee wants to look at, but yeah, maybe just picking an area, identifying how many trees can go in there and coming up with a budget for that. And then like Jace said, determining whether we can put irrigation in those areas or whether they're gonna need to be tree bags will be important as well. So once we have an area, we can really run with that.
Yeah, exactly. Once we have an idea and quantities and locations, then from there we can decide if it's just something we can just fit into our normal operation budgets, or if it's actually gonna have to become like a project that needs money allocated through council approval.
So if we're gonna allocate money in 2026 towards more public tree planting, when do you need this information? When is budgeting cycle? It's coming up soon,
Coming up
right?
soon, yeah.
So we wanna get these work plans approved before the end of this year.
Yeah.
So that, because normally, like, I'm sure budget has already really started on our end internally. Normally it's very early on in 2020, early on in the year, so early 2026, it'll be going before council, so want to get it as finalized as possible. So if we could maybe make a decision at this meeting so that we can provide some more details on the next environmental committee meeting on this work plan about, you know, where the committee wants to look at putting trees in, so that we can determine what might fit there and what that might look like from a budget perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got those maps and
Okay.
maybe I can review it with you offline, Jason, and we'll reconvene next meeting about that. Is it okay?
Yep.
Okay, anything else about that one? Okay, Lillooet Avenue West Streetscape Plan. Is that something you can share with us, or maybe you just want to give us an idea of what's happening with that, and maybe next meeting you can
Yeah, I can
review with us in detail?
provide an update. So, sorry, didn't really prep this.
No, that's
but,
okay.
That's my knowledge here.
Just where we are.
So, yes, yeah. So it was, we went to council, I believe it was late August or early September. With the kind of process of moving forward. But it was not, it was, do you know?
It was, council voted to wait until there's a detailed design.
Yes.
To refer it to the committee. So there will be landscaping plans as part of that
Yeah.
detailed design, and it was felt that the input would be more helpful at that time. So I've got it on here, winter 2026, I think that's what we just.
Yes, but we're actually gonna be moving that quicker.
Okay.
So
It might end.
because it's a priority, yeah, it's a priority project here, so we're looking at getting 60% design drawings done by Friday is when they're gonna be
Oh, wow.
submitting. So then there'll be a review process, and then I've requested that 90% design drawings are submitted November 10th. From there, it'll be going to council, council meeting shortly after that. Depending on if there's any changes or sort of what's required, we'd be looking at finalizing design drawings by in December, and then issuing it for tender in early January for a spring construction to be completed by summer of 2026.
Wow, that's fantastic, isn't it? Okay,
Where exactly is this area?
It's from Hot Springs Road on Lillooet to I guess it would be kind of like right just where the hotel entrance is.
Okay.
That's just stretched through there. So the concept of that is to make it more of a walkable, pedestrian oriented experience. Design concepts would be to try and sort of have a similar feel of Esplanade in a sense.
Yeah.
With that, budget is coming through from our RMI funds that we have. The amount of funds we have is a fair amount, but as construction costs are really expensive these days. So we're gonna have to see how we allocate what we can kind of achieve with the amount we have. So initially, we're gonna be looking at getting the hardscape, like the sidewalks, that kind of infrastructure in place. And then we'll be doing cost estimates, and as for like planting, I want to make sure that we have conduit and stuff in place. So if we don't have the budget, we can do future irrigation planting in these areas, but we'd like to try and target certain areas of planting. And then we're also looking at applying for, Chrissy's working on a grant for tree planting, so we'd want to be incorporating trees as well in there. And
Nice.
so it's trying to balance
that's
just
fantastic.
walkability,
Fast.
parking, and green space. So just trying to do
Nice.
a combination of it all.
So can you share with this committee any more details as they become available? Is that okay? I think I wanted this committee to take a look at that. And I'm trying to remember, Susan, you remember this from a couple years ago, that we talked about those 4 oak trees that were cut down. And there's a word for that part where the root ball is. And they weren't done properly for these trees that had to be cut down, or anyways, so I assume that for these large shade trees that you have planned, they're gonna have proper basins,
Yeah, yeah.
and room for the roots to grow and not become diseased and all that sort of thing. There's a word for it, it's escaping me.
Yeah, we have a landscape architect who's on board on the project, and we'd be looking for details to have adequate, amount of soil and ideally irrigation in place, but it would be tree banks as
It's gonna
well.
be a great project.
Mhm.
It's gonna
Really
really
excited.
change that area. It's good.
Yeah, but there's no input from the environmental committee. Is my understanding from the last meeting, when those got separated into 2 separate motions. We are allowed to view the final design. Is that where we were?
Well, that wasn't my intention. My intention is that we would be part of the process. I'd like to be, so that's why I'm asking. It sounds like in a month, in our next meeting, you're gonna be able to give us preliminary details and about the design. I don't know if that's enough input. I don't know what else.
No,
we
I
can
just,
ask
I'm
for.
just
I
looking for
agree.
clarification.
Yeah.
That was my understanding. And my second question is, coming back to those beautiful oak trees that we lost. That wood was supposed to be kept for projects for the city. So is that something that is kept? Are those pieces, can we incorporate some of that into perhaps the Lillooet?
Yes, I can answer that. So yes, that is, we have wood kept from that. And the intent is to make benches with them and incorporate it into the design of the new streetscape plan.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, and on your first point, Susan, I don't want to gloss that over. It was a bit of a contentious thing last council meeting. I would like this committee to have input, if appropriate or when appropriate, on the final design. Now, I don't know if there's, of course, the whole thing's an environmental element. You know, it's my hope that we can see the design and make some comment and make some suggestions, if, you know, from an environmental lens. So I'm hoping that we can do that in a month without having a motion going back to council that we want to take a look, because it sounds like we're going to be able to have a look at it, perhaps even before council sees it. Is that possible? Or?
No, I don't think, I think that is a little bit of the opposite kind of backward flow of the way the committee reports to council. My understanding is it would go to council first, and then they would make a recommendation to refer it to the environmental committee. And that was, if I'm recalling correctly from the conversation at the council table at the last time, it was determined that they wanted to wait for the environmental committee's input until there is a detailed design. So I think what you're saying is it'll be ready end of this week, probably what, next council meeting?
We're gonna
November.
be, it'll be probably November, because
Okay.
we're gonna get to 90%. Because like once the 60% comes in, we wanna review it with staff and come back with, you know, the consultants are gonna make their recommendations, but we wanna make sure it aligns with our priorities. And then once 90% comes back, then that's when it'll be brought to council.
And at what point do the landscaping plans get put in? Is that at the 60% or 90% or somewhere in between?
It'll be kind of in between, we'll have preliminary landscape plans on the 60%, and then 90 is when we again refine those preliminary plans to kind of incorporate some design elements that we would like to see.
Yeah, so Susan, I hear what you're saying. I was a bit disappointed the way that the council went last time, not giving it to us first or beforehand, but I don't know that things would have changed much. I think our input, of course, the environment is being tree planting, garden planting is an environmental element. And I don't know that, that our comments would have a lot of change the final design. I'm not sure, we'll see. But I hear what you're saying. It was a bit disappointing, and I still think we're gonna have some meaningful input into this, and I think that's where we have to aim for.
And I guess it depends on the landscaper, on the quality of the landscaper and what is being chosen and how it's being put together, right? So, so I'm optimistic. So
Good for
there we go.
you so much. Okay, so yeah, as soon as we can see it, we'd love to. Okay. Bear stewardship.
Oh, sorry, just
Sorry.
one more thing.
Yeah.
Just volunteer planting. So are we going to pursue something when all of that is going in, where like the environmental committee is gonna try to maybe get together to do like a little bit of a public planting of some gardens? Is that the concept?
I like that idea. I mean, we have such a limited staff here and limited resources, and yet a lot of people who want to plant and get involved and get their hands dirty, and like Mayor Talon did yesterday. So, Jace, if there's any way that we can rally and encourage community members to get.
Yes, it depends on the size of the trees.
No, but even not trees, maybe not trees.
Oh,
but
right,
just
garden
the
beds.
garden beds and things around the trees and things like that. It could be a really good opportunity. So I just noticed that on our work plan here. So
Yeah, so kind of one of the ideas would be because it's a large scale project, we'd be going out to PC bid and getting a contractor, but what we can do is, within the scope of work, we can have an area that, is just excluded from the contract, and it can be designated for like a community planting, event.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It
Susan,
also helps save money on the cost too, so it's, and great for the community.
and thinking of planting, are you focusing on trying to stay native local species so that they can live and survive in this environment? I think that was the problem with the oaks, if I remember correctly. They were the European version, not the British Columbia version.
Yeah, we definitely need to make sure that we have plant species that can thrive in this environment. And we have Brand, who's our landscape horticulturist and has great extensive knowledge of this area, this region, and types of species that can thrive here. So he'll definitely be playing a big input on the landscapers' design and providing input as well on the type of species that are going to be best suited for this area.
Okay. Anything else about that, guys? Okay, Bear Stewardship Committee.
We can touch on this a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a motion of council for staff to look into it, so we're still working on that. I know the Bear Smart Fraser Valley coordinator is very interested. I think it would be great if one member of this committee sat on that Bear Stewardship Committee, but it wasn't necessarily like a council standing committee where we post notice and we hold meetings here. It would be a little bit more informal, I think. But it would be, I think, once we've had some time to really look into it and identify some interested community members, the role of the committee would just kind of be putting out feelers to get some interested community members and see who might like to sit on there. Certainly happy to get the ball rolling, but I do think it's kind of a community-led committee more than a council committee. But if someone from this committee was interested in sitting on that as a representative, I think that would be great. So I've got it on the work plan as it's something that needs a little bit more fleshing out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd be interested. Okay, I can bear with it.
Go for it. You get your claws around this idea. And isn't the Bear Smart lady coming to our community this weekend or next weekend? I thought I heard something on Facebook that she's going to be at the Spirit Trail this Saturday or next Saturday,
Oh, is that
weather
right?
depending. I think so, Lori. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those programs that fluctuates every year in terms of funding. So there's not always like a guarantee that it'll go on. But I believe at our council meeting, she said she would do it for free because she's that
I
passionate
think so.
about the Bears.
Oh,
So
she's amazing.
I think, yeah, totally. So I think it's feasible regardless. We just have to kind of look at getting it set up.
Okay. Okay, adopt a shoreline trail. We've already talked about this, I think. Do we need to allocate any money or time
I
to this
don't
amendment?
I don't think so. The only thing I could see is if we had, for example, like the garbage picker upper things and some bags that we provide, and then people, when it's their month or their week for their group, they just come by the office, grab their stuff, return it at the end of their period of time. If that's how the committee's going, I think it could probably fall under our regular operations budget, and it's pretty low cost for us. It's more, I want to get committee feedback. I want to spend some time figuring out how the committee wants the program to run, basically. So.
Okay, so you're gonna come back to us with ideas? Is that, I think we talked about
Yeah, I
that
think
at the start of this.
First step will be to, put in some time frame. Like I think ideally we'd like to have, what I'm hearing from the committee is to have some sort of program in place by the spring before the tourism season starts. And, have it on some sort of rotating basis. Maybe, work with the committee to identify some key areas that the committee thinks should be adopted.
Definitely.
and we go from there. So I think there's some details. First step is to kind of expand the policy to not just a road, and then how do we recognize those groups, right? So do we have a little sign up at the lagoon, for example, that says, thanks to these community groups for their Dr. Road or things like that. So
Combination of a blitz and an ongoing thing. I think it's great.
yeah, so just kind of spending some time dealing with those details, but if we've got it on the work plan, then council's aware that everyone's working on that. So Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we've gone through what's on this list already. Is there anything else that any members here want to talk about or put on this list, or, and there's no bad ideas, anything at all about the next year that you want to accomplish, Susan? We covered all our goals and objectives. Yeah, okay.
One idea is just getting on board maybe with some of the businesses too, on especially restaurant businesses in different areas, like to see what type of products or things they're using to give clients. If we have more like sustainable or more
Okay.
recycle type program, because I know some places in tourism towns offer concepts of different ways that you could recycle, reuse different.
You mean like coffee mugs and reusable
Yeah,
things?
yeah. I don't know, something I was sort of looking a little bit into, or
I don't know, are we bound, Amanda, to do any provincial legislation? I know that when we started our chocolate store, we used plastic bags, and an edict came from somebody, I think it was the province, that you could no longer have plastic bags, and we ended up having to buy these beautiful paper bags for 39 cents each, I remember. It was crazy. Anyways.
I know there's less, like being out and about, I noticed like garbage, less plastic bags than years ago. When I used to go walk in the trails or go up along even the roadways, I used to see quite a few different plastic bags from different places that would drop off. This is years ago. And now I see actually very little, pretty rare. So I think that program, that seems to be working. But I do see like discarded stuff that's left on the beach from different areas to one point. I don't know what we can do.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to adopt a shoreline.
There we go. Yeah, or even like people using different types of pesticides or type of chemicals is there a way maybe can help with education or bringing to the public or the residents on what would be a good thing or proper thing to be using, or less, or like more environmentally safe? Or
Okay, do you want to add that to the list then? Like, because it's something that's bothering me too, chemical use in
Do we
the.
have a pesticide bylaw?
So I can provide I have a couple of things on that. There was some talk several years ago, I believe a bylaw may have even been drafted about, I'm trying to remember the term, I want to say it's like cosmetic pesticides, or there's a specific term for it, but it's basically pesticides that you're only doing it for cosmetic purposes, not for
Right.
like an invasive species or things like that. It wasn't passed at the time, so we don't have any bylaw in
because I
place.
did see one of the condo complexes put a warning sign on glyphosate pesticide used on where the flower beds are.
Oh, where the flower beds
Yeah,
are, okay.
so that's something I think that should not be happening, no matter, so that's something whoever the council or in the condo is approving for that.
Right.
You know, that's not if you need to weed it, you have to weed it or use some other, but yeah, they had a warning sign actually on that part.
And I think it's permitted in the
Yeah.
village, yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think I might have had a motion to try and stop pesticide use in the village. And I think Councillor Palmer did 3 or 4 years ago as well, and neither of them passed. Not to say that we could still work on it, maybe it'll pass either with a different council or next year with different thoughts and different
Yeah.
arguments about it.
Well, I can
So-
talk just about my experience, because I had quite an experience when I was in Ontario, trying to get a moratorium on them spraying the playing fields and for private use and things. And it can take a very long time. When we first started with our pesticide action group, my son was in a stroller. By the time that got passed, I think he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Almost, all right, so it can take such a long time, so you just have to keep.
Is that through provincial legislation? Is it federal?
It finally
Oh,
didn't
geez.
actually go through the city until after the provincial said, yeah, we can, then they went, oh, we'll be the heroes and we'll say we won't do it, but it took so long of doing it. So my advice would be, I think it's a really good thing for us to keep pursuing.
Okay.
Because just don't give up, just keep
Yeah.
bringing it
Okay.
back,
I think-
keep seeing if you can do
I think it'd be
it.
kind of a nice thing to the village, really follow into a nice green community, because other tourism places do adopt that kind of.
I think it'd be great for tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say that, you know, as a plus for the village, it's not, it's definitely not as severe an issue as when, like I said, back when I was first trying to get it dealt with in Ontario. Just like out walking with my kids in the springtime, you could almost not breathe from the amount of stuff that was being sprayed on, and I know that when we went out, when we were doing our walk, looking at trees, for places to plant trees, I'm walking past some places and you're like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
doing it,
right,
but
yeah.
it's definitely not as prevalent as it was, but there's, if we could get a bylaw in place or something like that, it would just help to change that whole dialogue about it.
I think we can put that on the list and just as something that we can monitor, and if we come up with some ideas and
Mhm.
more research, add to the list. Is there anything else? And by the way, this is, if things come up over the next year that we want to talk about, the new items, and then we'll do that as a committee. This isn't just an exhaustive list. I just want to make sure staff has an idea of what we're working towards and have a budget towards it. So before we go on to the next topic, should we just sort of finalize the amount of money that we need, Amanda?
I just got a quick comment here,
Sure.
that's something that's come to me. We talked about pesticide bond and reusable. I'm just wondering if we could sort of have a slogan, Village Green Initiatives. That this committee, you know, has a list of, we got a couple of things here,
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
and that we can promote these Village Green Initiatives that come from the environment.
So that just brings me to something that I've often wondered, like Communities in Bloom, I think you guys have your own Facebook page or website,
Mhm.
and we don't. And maybe to your point, we can communicate things that we're working on or ideas or education, even though we can't get them as policy or bylaw, we can still provide education. Maybe we need our own Facebook site.
And then people can put their suggestion,
Yeah.
good suggestions.
Has that worked for Community in Bloom, Susan?
I think so, and I think, with our site, when stuff is posted there, sharing it, like the members sharing it out to get
Yeah,
it circulating through social media, has
That's a good idea.
helped a lot. Like I've run into so many people on this street, they're like, oh, you're the garden lady.
You got the award. I see the picture was on Facebook.
So, oh, you're the garden lady. And I'm like, okay, well, yes, I am now.
I think it's doable, but we would appreciate some assistance from the committee on
Yeah.
content in
Yeah.
terms of like really targeting what you want to speak on, like whether the committee works together to develop like a monthly topic or something that we post
Sure.
about. Just because
Yeah.
sometimes we struggle as staff a little bit with the content, like knowing kind of what the committee wants to prioritize and push out. It's easy for Communities in Bloom sometimes because it's like Garden of the Week, or they have specific events that take place. It's a bit more structured and it lends itself really well to that kind of social media presence. Whereas with something like the environmental committee, I think there would need to be a little bit more just input from the committee on content and be really, you know, intentional about what we want to highlight
Yeah.
this month or, yeah.
So who runs the Community in Bloom website or Facebook page?
It's a
Who does that?
joint effort. Yeah.
No.
They send us pictures, and that's another great thing, right? Like, and I encourage the Communities in Bloom too. Like, if you're out for a walk and you see some really nice hanging baskets or, you know, a really nice landscape area or whatever, send me a picture and pop it up on the Facebook, but it would be the same for the environmental committee. But yeah, even the Communities in Bloom Facebook right now, it's pretty structured because of the events that take place. But I think it has the potential to be a little bit more informal and just kind of day-to-day stuff, but definitely, I think it's doable, just need a little bit more input from the committee than maybe Communities in Bloom.
Do staff, must they legally manage our website or Facebook page? Because we're our village committee? You
Yeah.
have to, okay.
Yeah.
We can't just do it ourselves.
And I think that's a good idea to
Yeah.
have that. You need
Yeah.
someone to
Okay.
sort of
It's good.
filter sometimes.
With the, how long would that take to come up with something like that, do you think?
Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time. I mean, I'll have to talk to our communications team. I know we've got several projects on the go, so it's
Because the hazardous, I was just thinking the hazardous waste thing would be to put on
Right,
there,
to be
right?
a
But then
video.
it would,
Yeah.
that's a little too.
unfortunately, I think the
Too
turnaround
rushed.
time is a little short, but
Yeah.
that's okay. The other thing too is you wanna spend some time kind of building up the page where you post things here and there and then they get shared like by committee members to, local groups in town so that people know the page exists.
Yep.
So we'll have a little bit more chance of a higher turnout right now on our page, so.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, let's work towards that then.
Sure.
Getting our own page going. Does that address your,
Yeah,
what you're talking about?
Yeah, some way of,
Okay.
and the other part is we need some more people on this committee.
Yeah, oh,
I
okay,
was gonna
sure.
Say that,
Yeah.
if we can send out a call. It's unfortunate that we lost 2 of our members. So,
Amanda, can we put out a call for more members?
Yeah, we certainly can. By the time because we have a vacancy, so we can accept applications anytime. So with the two vacancies, I have to double
At
check.
least,
Like, if you know people, please, like, tell them to contact the office. We'll get them an application form. That's often the best way to find people is word of mouth. Sometimes we don't get a lot of response when we post for these, so if you know people, certainly send them our way, but we can definitely put out another
Just
call.
have them come to the office and have.
Yeah, or just pop us an email, we'll
Okay.
send them an application form by email, it's no problem, yeah.
good. Cool. Anything else that you guys want to list before we go to the next item? Okay, sorry, Amanda, our item F, I think, was something
So,
new.
do you wanna do the next meeting date quickly first, and
Oh,
then
sure.
move on to the other 2 items?
Sure.
Yeah. So typically, first, second Wednesday of the month, so we're kind of looking at either I'm away the 12th, but I am here on November 5th. I don't know how that looks for the committee.
November 5th.
As long as it's in the morning for me.
3 weeks.
That's about a month. Mhm.
Everybody okay with the 5th? Oh, you don't know.
Well, I do, but that's 2 weeks after, if it all goes that way, or less than 2 weeks, so. I don't, like, if we could push it a little further, I'm okay, but I don't wanna make it like, if it all, just, yeah.
So what would be good?
I think like anything, you said the 12th is not, like, maybe is the 19th pushing too late?
Of November?
Yeah,
I'm still. I mean,
Or does it
it
have-
can happen without me. I can send someone else. It doesn't have to be me, but I'll be doing the work on the work plan.
Jace, where will you be on the Little Wet West streetscaping?
doesn't have to be always on a
That'd
Wednesday.
be nice if there was, like, we had that, if there's a
Sounds like
sort of a
staff.
milestone.
Yeah,
your
if we
60
could-
Whatever.
Three
That
weeks.
happens in the
Like,
community,
a
whatever.
little over 2 weeks would give me a good, I can probably make it like
Yeah.
3 weeks, don't have to
You're
watch
talking about after your,
surgery, yeah, cause it's, if it goes, I'll go on the 23rd, then 2, 3, yeah, like, like 2 weeks should give me, I can go make it to here. 2, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
so Amanda, you're away the week of the 10th and week of the 17th? Of November?
Yeah, and the thing too is we wanna get a work plan before council, kind of by the November, what is that? November 17th council meeting, just in case they wanna send it back, that gives us some time.
So preferably before the 17th then?
Yeah, so like an agenda deadline is Wednesday the 12th, so I'd wanna have it finalized prior to that if possible. I realize I'm away that week, but
Okay.
if we can do it anytime that first week of November, I think that would be a little bit just more ideal for the timing in order to get a draft before council by the end of the month.
Could you do it by Zoom from your bed, your hospital bed?
I'll be home. I hope so.
I'll come to your
Yeah.
house.
I mean, I could make it. It's just one of those things that I'll have to just see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay.
But sure, if you want to just keep it.
The same for the 5th, then, if it's okay,
And it doesn't
we're
have to
gonna
be a
a quorum.
Wednesday either, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
if it's better for you, a different day of the week, but
I'll be via Zoom. Hopefully it's the morning meeting.
Does the 6th work better?
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Oh,
As long as
you're
it
away
lo-
anyways?
Yeah.
You wanna try the 6th? Is it,
The
that gives an
6th,
extra day?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah,
Okay,
cool.
6th, morning again, Susan, does that work for you? 6th morning, 9 AM?
Yeah, I'm hoping to bring it to council.
That way you're gonna be able to present to council our asks and all that stuff on the 17th.
by the end of the second meeting in November, second council meeting, yeah.
Is it the 17th that month? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, November the 6th. Okay,
So will you still be Zooming, coming in by Zoom?
I'll be for the next 5 months.
oh, Paul. Good.
To say quietly.
Must be. I think we should have a meeting where you are. Yeah, sounds nice. And if Johnny's not able to come, is it a quorum if there's 3 of
Yes,
us?
so we can have one member absent, but beyond that, we won't be able to.
So
Okay,
that's 9 AM on the 6th?
So you could do like Zoom. Would that be
Oh, yeah.
present?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
I
absolutely.
haven't done Zoom in a
We can definitely.
ages.
We'll set
but-
up
Help you out.
Yeah, that's okay.
We'll send that. You come here, Tyler.
I have the app on my iPad.
Yeah, he'll set up all the codes and all that.
Yeah.
Mark took a meeting from a plane.
Yeah, well, from.
Almost.
Imagine that, eh? Yeah, it's close.
Really, right straight through.
Yeah. Okay, so good, November 6th, 9 AM. If you want to just remind us of that, Amanda, please.
I just sent it out.
And then I think there's an item F or a couple of extra items.
Yes, so item F, I think, was discussed during
Yeah, we covered
the earlier one, that was West Little Wet. So the last item there was the tour of the wastewater treatment plant and water treatment.
All right, Paul, I guess you're not, oh, do you want to do it before you go, Paul?
Well, I'm leaving
When do you
next
leave?
week today.
Oh,
Is it possible to do it? What's the soonest?
well,
we can
before
do
you
it?
do surgery and before you go.
Yeah.
Just have to check, do you have?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Susan, are you interested? I know you've already done
It depends on when it is.
it. Well, it's the same
Depends on what day it
wastewater.
is.
Oh, what day?
Yeah,
Okay. Fred, have you seen it? We're sorry, Mary Talon, have you seen the tour of the wastewater treatment plant? Have you done it?
Oh, yes.
You have,
I
okay.
think it's fantastic. I may tag along again, or, yeah,
Yeah,
I would do it again. It's
And do it.
it's worth it.
Is that also the water treatment?
you can do both.
Yeah,
if you
you
got
can
time.
Yeah.
Well, I still do, so
Yes.
fun.
It's nice to see the numbers of the water that gets treated for drinking water, what's coming out of the lake, there's a number. And then the number is actually lower of the water going back into the river after treating. So we're slowly cleaning the lake.
It's true.
It's impressive, yeah, it's worth. it's
All
worth-
of it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
The
worth taking a
wastewater
tour.
treatment, I was so impressed.
I'm surprised we don't do
So
public
knowledgeable.
tours. I'm wondering why we don't do public tours, like
They're
twice a
available.
year.
Yeah, all you have to do is ask, I think.
That could be
Depending on
something we
operational.
organize,
Yeah.
right? Environmental committee
Yeah.
is,
Twice a year or once a year have, maybe, you can't bring too many people, but you can bring a dozen maybe.
When are you leaving?
A week today.
So,
So Paul leaves a week.
we're looking at the calendar and I don't think it's gonna be feasible to do it within a week, unfortunately, just with holiday time and people away over the Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Cause we need to make sure we have somebody available all the time to
Yeah.
manage the wastewater treatment plant. So that's a priority, but I wonder if maybe it would be worth pushing it a little bit into the spring when you're back, Paul, and incorporating the Communities in Bloom Committee as well, because there's an environmental aspect to that to Communities in Bloom criteria. And I know past judges have gone on a tour of the wastewater treatment plant and water treatment plant. So that might be something that the committee would be interested in, doing as well. So I don't know.
They didn't get a chance, like when they had arranged it, I was the only one that showed up.
Mhm.
Oh, no,
Yeah, and I think it was a little bit rushed too. So
It was,
didn't have
okay.
Time to organize, so.
But I know that Paul won't be able until April, but if you don't want to wait that long, then maybe we'll get together with Communities in Bloom and see if there's anybody interested and do it in, when it works for you, November or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
We'll take a look.
Yep.
Yeah, he's always very happy to take
Yeah.
people on tours.
Yeah, I know. He-
You'll learn a lot.
Great
Okay.
tour. Okay, are we, are there any other items to discuss?
Well, that was the last one.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Just adjourn.
Oh, you know what we didn't do though? My apologies. On D, we didn't really come up with a final number of money.
I think, there's some variables with the private tree planting part.
Okay.
That I will work into the next one, so we have some time to come up with a final.
Next time.
Yeah,
Cool. Make sure you bring Susan your negotiating hat. Let's get some more money out of it. Okay, motion to adjourn. Any to have a mover to adjourn?
Moved.
Seconder. Any discussion about adjournment? Sorry to take so long, you guys. We're a long-winded group, aren't we? Okay, call the question to adjourn. All in favor? And that passes. Thank you, everybody.
My dad always, union meetings, my dad always moved to adjourn, that way his name was in the record.